That will do, Saban. That will do. Hey there guys, so a few days ago was the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, and the best way to celebrate that is that we got an anniversary special on Ninja Steel, which was called Danger in Dimensions, which featured Rangers from previous series, Legacy Rangers, and these are some of the Rangers I really grew up with ever since I was like 7 years old, so this really touched a soft spot in my heart, really. Now, Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel, I'm just going to call it Ninja Steel. A lot of people say it's like one of the worst series. To me, it's okay. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's kind of like in the okay category for me. I really love the Rangers. I like the supporting characters. The writing is kind of up and down for me. I like Victor and Monty. And the villains are really terrible. So it's kind of like 50-50 for me. I could watch it. It's like, it's not good as Dino Charge, but it's a lot better than Samurai and Megaforce. So the plot of Danger in Dimensions is kind of like a watered down version of the comic book series Shatter the Grid. You have this villain called Lord Dravon out of nowhere. Lord Dravon, Lord Drakon. They could have come up with a better name. So basically Lord Drakon captures Tommy first, makes a robot clone out of him, captures some other Rangers from previous series, uses them to make an army, robot Ranger army really. And so some of the Rangers ask the Ninja Steel Rangers to go and help them find Tommy, free the Rangers that are captured, and work on that from there, really. And start the bat, I really like Danger in Dimensions. I think I'm going to start with the negatives, then go away to the positives, because I really want to end this on a high note. Let's get the most obvious problem out of the way. Yes, it should have been an hour long, really. 20 minutes is really not enough, especially when you got 10 Legacy Rangers, really. For a bit more padding, a bit more character development, a bit more detail on the story, really. You have 10 Legacy Rangers. Tommy's the main focus, of course. You got Wes, Gemma and Koda, which come in early in the episode. Then the other 6 are kind of like, they have some lines. I don't think Trent has any lines. What is up with that? But really, and I want to know, like, oh, how did they get captured? Did Tommy capture all of them? Did Lord Dravon capture some of them? I don't understand that, really. And what are the Rangers doing? We know what Tommy is doing now. I mean, he's got a kid. He's still living in the house from Dino Thunder, which was a cool reference for me. And we all know he's kind of married to Catherine. I kind of like that, because if you see at the end, they're holding hands when they walk through the portal. I like that, really. I know a lot of people think it's Kimberly and Tommy ever since the beginning, but you guys really need to move on. For me, it's always been Catherine and Tommy. Kimberly was more of a phase for me. But there's some other things I wanted to know. I mean, I know Wes and Koda. I want to know some of them. I mean, what's Wes doing? Is he in the present? Is he working for Time Force? Is he with Jen? And this kind of brings me to my next problem with Rocky and Catherine. Don't get me wrong, they were great. I love seeing them again after like 20 years. I hated how they wrote Rocky out during the Turbo. He damaged his back, so they replaced him with a 12-year-old. And I have met Steve Carganis and Catherine Sutherland during like London Film Comic Con, which were great people to meet, and I'm going to meet them again in October. If it was me, I would have brought them back as the Zeo Rangers, because let's be honest, they were at their prime. Zeo is a great series, especially how they handled Catherine and Rocky. When I think of Pink Turbo Ranger, I think of Cassie, she was a better Turbo Ranger than Catherine, because Catherine wasn't really suited for Turbo, and that's when I appreciated Turbo much more. When I think of Red Mighty Morphin, I think of Jason, Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger. Rocky was kind of like underused in the MMPR stuff, so when he became Blue Zeo Ranger and Zeo, how they handled Rocky, they did a really great job with him. So I was kind of a bit annoyed and kind of scratching my head, like, why are they not the Zeo Rangers? And make TJ the Red Turbo Ranger for me, because he was a better Red Turbo Ranger than Tommy, and Tommy doesn't become the Red Turbo Ranger at any point in the episode. So we don't have too many Blue Rangers, because I just don't understand why TJ doesn't become the Red Turbo Ranger. He's more powerful and his powers aren't really destroyed, but we already had the Blue and Space Ranger in the Legendary battle. I just didn't understand that. It would have made more sense so that Kat and Rocky become the Zeo Rangers and TJ becomes the Red Turbo Ranger. And this kind of brings me to my last problem. They brought back 10 Legacy Rangers, but only one was the main focus, which was Tommy, of course. And don't get me wrong, Tommy is the greatest Ranger of all time. But it feels like Tommy is the only great Ranger of all time, which is not true because they brought back some fan favourites like Wes and TJ and Jem and Coda and Catherine and Rocky and Gia and Trent, which they came from great series apart from Antonio, which Samurai kind of sucks, but it was great to see Antonio. But they were just so underutilized, and that was one of the major disadvantages of becoming 20 minutes. If it was an hour long, we would have seen what would have had a bit more from these Legacy Rangers. I mean, Trent didn't have any lines, and TJ is one of my favourite Rangers, and Wes is one of my favourite Rangers, probably my favourite Ranger of all time. And I just don't know. After like seeing Rocky and Catherine after like 20 years, I wanted to see more out of them. Yeah, I think that's my only problems with like Danger and Dimensions. Apart from that, it was pretty darn good. For one, I like how they established the dimensions of Power Rangers. You have the main dimension, you have the RPM dimension, you have the Dino Charge dimension, and I like how you kind of get the mascots of Power Rangers. And when you have Wes, you have like the mascot of the Saban era, you have Gemma, who was the mascot of the Disney era, and then you have Kodo, who's kind of like the mascot of the Neo Saban era. That's how I look at it. And I liked how they come in the beginning and the episode before, how they helped the Rangers. I kind of like that. Even though some of the Legacy Rangers are underutilized in this special, it was still great seeing them again. And some of them I've met in real life, like Slen Ward, Steve Cargenis, Jason Font, Catherine Sutherland, Jason David Frank. And a few Rangers we haven't seen for like over 20 years, which really paid off. Even though Tommy steals all the focus out of all the Legacy Rangers in this special, it was still great seeing him and what they did for him in this special. Like how they brought back the house from Dino Thunder, that was a cool reference. He has a son called JJ, of course named after Jason. He's married to Kat. Even though it's kind of not established, but we kind of got the idea, especially when they hold hands during the portal at the ending. And the Master Morpher. Even though there's no explanation where this Master Morpher came from, was it a gift or did he make it himself? But it kind of makes sense for this like 20-minute special, really, because otherwise he'll be kind of doing this and this and this, really. And there's some great fight scenes. Of course, the best fight scene is kind of like when he fights the evil robot Tommy and he just switches colors in and out, black, red, white and green, which is, it's just so good watching that. It's probably one of the greatest fight scenes, probably the greatest Tommy fight scene in the Power Rangers franchise. Now Danger and Dimensions has some problems, of course, but you could tell a lot of effort was put into this. I mean, especially for like a 20-minute special. They had very limited time, but a lot is paid off in this, and there's a lot to watch in this. Like how they got all these like robot clones, and it's not all CGI. They must have made like a lot of Ranger suits for that. And the action is great. I mean, especially the stunt work, and especially they brought back some stuff from the previous Power Rangers era, like the house from Dino Thunder and the Falcon Sword. Bringing back 10 Rangers, which were kind of really spread out. Like you brought back some from the Disney era, the Saban era, and the Neo Saban era, which really worked. Even though the battle at the end is only like 1 minute long, it really paid off and it was so enjoyable to watch. I was having so much fun, and I'm hoping there's an extended edition because there's some Rangers that you can't find in the battle sequence, like TJ and Trent and Gia. Hopefully they're going to make an extended edition at some point, maybe on Netflix. It felt like I was a 10-year-old again, especially when all the Rangers are posing and there's this explosion. It felt like pure Power Rangers tradition. Now, one more thing I really love from Danger and Dimension is that they brought back the Falcon Sword. I was just geeking out because the Falcon Sword is one of my favourite swords in Power Rangers, and we haven't seen this sword since 1996, and that is just crazy. I was hoping it does its signature move when it closes its wings and shoots missiles, but that didn't happen, but it still destroyed the monster. And the CGI on it looks really great, it really worked. This is the only special to actually bring back a sword from a previous series. Even team-up episodes, even from like the earlier ones, don't bring back Megazords unless it's relied on Sentai footage. But when I saw the Falcon Sword, I was like, yes! So overall, Danger and Dimension is a really fun, enjoyable Power Rangers anniversary special. I mean, there are some problems, like it could have been an hour long and some of the Rangers are kind of underutilized and why they that particular type of Ranger when they could have been the better versions of themselves. Out of all the anniversary specials, this is already better than Legendary Battle. I mean, Legendary Battle sucks as a whole, but it's not on the same level with Forever Red, but it's still darn enjoyable. So it's kind of second place for me with Once a Ranger. So I don't know which one's better. Is it Once a Ranger or Danger and Dimensions? It's hard to choose, but I'll figure it out. And I will say, for me, it's the best episode in the Neo Saban era. Even though the Neo Saban era gets a lot of bad press, I think you need to rethink about it because Dino Charge has a lot of great episodes. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, what did you think of Danger and Dimensions? And what is your favourite anniversary special? Where would you rank them for me? For me, it's Forever Red, Danger and Dimensions with Once a Ranger, and Legendary Battle at the very, very bottom. I mean, it's beyond the bottom for me. You guys are awesome. May the power protect you.